Thanks for joining us again. Feature commentary, Jared. Masters of the Universe, 1987. I believe your words to me were, I can handle it, but can you? And I did respond with, I haven't seen this in about 35 years.
Yeah.
So,
well, as you pointed out,
doing the math, it came out when I was 11 years old, so it couldn't have been 35 years ago. Minimum 34. Sorry, maximum 34. So, okay, let's read.
I think you said 25.
Okay, well, it's probably
did
more
you
like
watch this in your 20s?
No, I probably did not watch this in my 20s. Why would I watch this in my 20s? I was not playing with fucking He-Man figures at that stage, so I'm going to assume I probably watched it about 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm not playing with He-Man figures currently, but I watched it in my 30s, so...
Yeah, I know, but we didn't have it, it wasn't accessible.
Yeah, as you pointed out, I'm one of the few
so
holders of a copy of it.
Correct.
I didn't splash out. I didn't get any special editions. I just got one.
Is there a special edition? I'm
pretty sure there was a special edition. 25 years.
God. All right.
Yeah. She's going to be tough going.
Yes. Well, according to Jared, it's tough going. I haven't seen it, but we're going to go through it minute by minute. Just to make people aware, as you said, Jared, earlier on today, to make the listeners feel like they're here, we're going to eat, drink, fart, burp throughout. So just letting you know.
all in the name of authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity, really. And, like you're in the room. I mean, you can almost smell us.
Yeah.
So that'll be going on. Okay. Let's just dive straight into it, Jared. Before we press play, let's just do the quick... Who were the key players in this particular film? So it was made in 1987. It was directed by Gary Goddard, who I don't believe directed any other films. Is that correct?
I think he did, but mostly like kids' TV and...
Yeah, he did do a fair bit of Captain Power, a few other credits. He had Jurassic Park The Ride, T2 3D, Tarzan the Ape Man, 1981. So he didn't have a massive resume. It was written by David Odell, who wrote, along with Masters of the Universe, The Dark Crystal, and Tales from the Dark Side episode, Supergirl. Oh, shit. Running Scared. Oh, that's from 1980. I thought that was the Billy Crystal one, but it's not. So, David wrote a couple of superhero films. It was then rewritten by Gary Goddard and Stephen Tolkien. And Stephen Tolkien wrote some stuff for Perception, The Craigslist Killer, The Legend of the Seeker, Summerland, Jesus. Mr. Murder. Dean Koontz novel.
Your favourites.
It's a really good book. And I'll never forget it when I saw the TV movie. Previous to that, in Empire, a couple of years beforehand, they said that the movie was being made, and it was picked up by Orion. Was putting it together, and Bruce Willis had signed up to play the dual roles for $25 million for the film. And I'm thinking, this is the shit. Yep. This is going to be awesome.
2 years later, TV movie.
Yeah, it's a TV movie.
Where's Bruce Willis?
Ryan fell over, I believe.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Bruce Willis took his $25 million paycheck and fucked off.
I was going to say, was that pay or play deal that they paid him? So
it was the 90s, mate. It was definitely pay or play. He would have taken his 25 cents. See you later, guys. What about another film for us? No, mate. I'm busy, mate. I'm
sorry. I've already booked something. I'll talk to you guys later.
My schedule's booked, fellas. I'm sorry to tell you. So I was very upset about that, and then I saw the TV movie, and it sucked.
I know. I remember you were sniffing around that for years.
Yeah, unbelievable.
One of the great disappointments of this movie-going life.
Correct. So it stars Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, Frank Langella as Skeletor, Meg Foster as Evil Lynn, Courtney Cox as Julie Winston, Chelsea Field as Teela. It was produced by Joram Globus and Menem Golan, couple of well-established producers behind Cannon Films.
Yep.
Budget was 22 million. Box office 17 million.
Yes. I believe the budget might have been shaved a touch too, but
Do you think it might have been 12 million?
possibly.
The good old Cannon were fans of sort of coming in and cutting things late.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they're the basic details. Let's fire this thing up.
We're good to go?
Good to go.
All right, let's do
Here
it.
we go.
Canon film logo. Glorious.
Mark of quality. Mark of quality.
Yeah. It's like when you see, a seal on some sort of product. one of those little bits of red wax.
Red wax. Although this one, more often than not, it wasn't red wax. It was a turd.
I think it was more like earwax or
Yeah,
something.
it was something. God, I'm not going to lie to you. The opening credits here look a little bit dicey.
Touch cheap.
Just a blue screen with white lettering.
That's where you shave budget.
Yeah.
Bit of matte painting action.
Is this grayscale? Is that grayscale?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't even look like the original, the actual version.
No. Now,
Which
I think Mattel were okay with that to a point. They just had things that He-Man couldn't do, and
Really? And what were the things he couldn't do?
couldn't kill people.
Right.
Which is why I believe Skeletor's henchmen are robots and shit. Couldn't smoke, couldn't swear.
Couldn't act.
Yep.
No disrespect to Dolph, because Dolph became a far better actor.
Yeah, this
after
was
This
not
was
the
early
peak of
Dolph,
his-
and he wasn't. He hadn't established a persona or anything. At the end of the day, you were actually hiring him for what he looked like,
Yes,
not
correct.
necessarily what his skills
Which fit
were.
perfectly in that regard. But yeah, the acting is not good.
Are you saying that his performances wouldn't, Jared?
Yeah. You probably would have got a stronger sort of performance out of a plastic He-Man figure
Well,
at that point. But
again, no disrespect, Dolph.
we love the man.
The music here is very John Williams-esque.
Yes.
Look, visual effects by Richard Enlund.
It was brought up that this was a Williams kind of rip-off.
Yes, and it is. It definitely sounds like that.
It does.
But you know what? Canon did have money. Well, they seemingly had budget money. Admittedly, they usually cut that stuff later.
They had money when you signed the contract. Then when it came payday...
They'd made 4 other pictures with half of your money. As they're handing over the budget, the producer's going, "What? This isn't what we decided upon?" They're like, "Well, you're just going to have to make it work." Okay, so this looks decidedly Star Wars, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, they called it... I think Canon themselves said this was going to be the Star Wars of the 80s.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
I may be wrong there, but it has been tossed around. And this is the set that looks pretty good. This is
Oh, so this is the grayscale set,
yeah, and this looks good. So they end up spending a lot of time here.
do they?
Yeah.
Okay, so they basically So essentially, they spend a lot of time here because they don't know that they have nothing else of quality,
No.
set-wise.
No. There's Meg Foster. Natural eyes.
They're her natural eyes.
Yes.
Skeletor actually looks alright.
Yeah. I mean, it looks a bit rubbery at times, but I mean, you can fucking live with that.
Well, it was 1987.
Yeah. And it was canon.
And it was canon, yeah. So they gave the effects guy like $1.50 to make that.
Yeah. And we were talking just before we started. Frank Langella loves this stuff.
He does.
He's never spoken ill of it. Says he had a fucking grand old time doing it, and did it because his son was young at the time and loved the show.
But also, I believe in some of his stuff that he's talking about now, even now, is he talks about, you know, some depth to Skeletor and some stuff in there that kind of, you know, there is a bit more depth to the Skeletor character, and it's always better to play the villain, I think, in these sorts of shows.
Yeah, well, you can have a bit of fun with it. I mean, in this case,
activate the holosphere.
when you're opposite Dolph Lundgren.
There's only one problem with Skeletor: his mouth doesn't move very well.
No,
because of the rubber lips and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what this kind of reminds me a little bit of? Flash Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember this is kind of how Flash Gordon looked.
Yep.
As well in terms of quality.
But this part looks okay. For the time, you could live with this as Eternia and work with that.
Yeah, I could work with it. I mean, it looks alright.
But we didn't. We decided not to do that.
You see, why is a guy like... Again, these are stupid questions, but... Why... Oh, for God's sake. Is that little hairy looking dude? What's his name? Gwildor. Was he a character? In the...
No.
So he was not a toy?
Essentially replaced Orko.
Why are we shooting Dolph's chest in the middle of this?
I don't know. This is where it's very Star Wars, right? This just screams fucking Stormtrooper.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it does fit with the cartoon. The cartoon was combinations of the sword and sorcery with a few fucking laser guns and shit. Here's where things start to go pear-shaped for me. Man-at-Arms and Teela look like they're cosplay fucking...
Man-at-Arms looks like fucking Kevin Kline. It's not Kevin Kline, is it?
No, it's not.
Christ, Kevin Kline would be fucking still rocking back and forth on the ground if he'd wondered why he just won an Oscar and then went this.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't...
They look like cosplayers. They look like laughers.
Probably starting a little bit of laughing going on in the cabins around Los Angeles.
Yeah, we found a couple of legitimate actors running around doing this. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look, honestly, Gwildor just looks like an idiot. Like
he looks like a fucking flattened testicle. His head looks like a squashed nut.
Yeah, but why? See, this is the thing I don't understand. Orko was supposed to be this type of character, and Orko had no face. You didn't need to go into great detail with.
Yeah.
A pink robe, an arrow on the front.
Orko.
Pink hat.
I mean, I don't care if Orko has to walk because you don't have the effects to make him fly. Why didn't you just make? Why did you not just make that Orko?
I don't know.
And this is why, even when I was a kid, I was watching this and going, what's happening?
But why is Man-at-Arms too? Why couldn't they make Man-at-Arms in the same kit he was in? Apart from, the Budgie Smugglers.
The furry boots and shit.
Why couldn't they just put him in the same shit that he was in the...
I don't know.
Because that's what they've done with He-Man, haven't they?
Yeah. And then Teela looks like... Oh, God knows what she looks like. It's kind of like a cross between some kind of Star Trek uniform with a little bit of fucking aliens or Blade Runner or something. Like... I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of how they look.
No. I think it goes too far away from the toys. Yeah. So what you needed to do was you needed to hit the costumes so everyone looked like the toy.
You needed to hit certain points, and so they missed on these. And then you go to, we've essentially seen everyone that's a character in the TV show that's going to be in the movie now.
Okay.
So everyone else, they've just made new characters for them. And so it kind of, I don't know, you didn't hit the marks of the characters that were there. God, he looks awful, doesn't he?
Oh, God. Yes.
The Cosmic Key. And this is where we start to get to problem number 2.
Number 2? I've already rattled off about 10.
14. Well, big problem number 2. Why the fuck did we decide to go to Earth? Other than budget reasons.
I don't know.
And when you do go to Earth, I thought if you're going to do that, if you're going to introduce real people to it, why aren't you introducing a kid of the age that's going to watch Masters of the Universe?
So what they introduce us to is Courtney Cox. Is that right? And her fella?
Something like that. Well, we'll get to that.
Who is this guy? Who's in this suit?
Billy something. Billy Barty? Is that his name?
Now, clearly he's, like a little size actor.
Small stature.
So he's not, it's not, Warwick Davis style. Yes?
Yes. Correct.
Did he go on to anything else? Do we know if he made anything out of this?
He was in things like Willow and... I don't know if he was in any other large sort of pictures. Did have plenty of credits, 200 credits.
Okay, so he worked.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know what? This is the kind of role that, like Jar Jar Binks, it could have ruined your career. Well, it is. Look at it. I played a squash testicle in the Masters of the Universe film.
Yeah.
Here's my headshot. You know what I mean? Everyone scoffs and goes, send him packing, he's not getting...
But yeah, you're right. At the time, before the film comes out, you think, I've fucking hit it big here. After the film, I mean, fucking poor Ahmed Best contemplated suicide after Jar Jar Binks. Like, that's... Yeah.
I would have rather pushed my rage towards George Lucas.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe he actually just showed up in The Mandalorian. They actually gave him a role as like another character in The Mandalorian.
Right.
Bit of a handshake, a bit of a bat on the back.
Yeah. Look,
sorry, mate.
Sorry. Now, Dolph's performance. I want you to provide me with some advice.
Okay.
Dolph was fresh off Drago. Oh, not fresh off Drago, but he was
pretty much cast on that.
Yeah. On the Drago situation, and really, he didn't have to speak much as Drago.
No.
Where does he go wrong here? Because from everything I'm told, it goes wrong. And so far, it's going wrong.
Well, he's not a... I mean, when you're opposite a guy like Frank Langella, who's good...
He's actually a good actor.
I mean, Dolph had limited range at this time.
Okay, so... Yeah, he had limited range, but Dolph had screen presence, you would have said, wouldn't you?
Look, I'll tell you my feeling is Dolph is not good in this movie, but he's not the issue.
No.
He's not the problem here.
No.
The issue is fucking cosmic keys, like this shit that he's got to keep talking about.
Okay, what's the go with the sorceress?
Sorceress is stuck in Grayskull, isn't she?
Yeah.
Skeletor's leeching off the powers.
See, it kind of feels like, Jared, we come straight in. We don't establish much.
No.
We just come straight in. We talk about Castle Grayskull. We throw Skeletor straight into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that children, the idea is you're trying to get children in who already watch the show and all that.
Yeah.
But
if you're doing that, give them something they know, something familiar.
Yeah.
Because everything about this.
But usually, if you're going to do a movie like this, you don't do that. You kind of build into it, don't you?
Yeah.
You start with a standalone kind of story and build up to it. Like, build the characters in and do all that and sort of introduce them and everything. But it just feels a little bit like we've just burst into this. This feels like the centre of the movie. Almost.
Well, as I said, they thought, fuck, we've got to put everything in this set because it's the only one we've got.
Right, so that's why we're here for so long.
Yeah, because next, I think we're heading to New Jersey. Is that right?
We're going to Jersey or New York?
No, New Jersey.
You go to New Jersey?
Cannon picture.
You couldn't even go to New York for me. You went to New Jersey. Holy shit, Cannon. I didn't think you were that cheap.
Yeah. I mean, Dolph's trying.
Langella, I will say there might be one thing that Langella might regret, and that is wearing tights and a codpiece. which I'm not going to lie, even the most buff of individuals, look at Dolph. Even he looks not right in his crackers.
Well, not in this costume anyway. Wildorf.
So, Jared, I don't remember any of this.
That's probably why you suggested that we watch it.
Well, no, me and a bloke at work were talking about Dolph Lundgren week.
Yeah.
And we're going to have Dolph Lundgren week, so this is kind of why I threw this out there. But
yep.
And it used to be on Stan. I was kind of pissed off because I thought it was still on streaming.
Yeah, you still haven't quite adjusted to the fact that they yanked that shit before you've even had a chance to look at it.
Yeah, but, you know, that's false pretenses when I see it. And you don't give me more than a day to find out if I can watch it.
Yeah. Yep. I hear you.
You know what? I'm going to say this. The cast is alright.
Yeah, the cast is good. Cast is solid. As I said, even Dolph would have been okay if the writing and everything else about the movie was alright.
Well, if you had more of a... I feel like Dolph back in his early days, you would have been better off going with kind of like a more humorous presence for Dolph. Why
Possibly.
are you shaking your head?
Well, we're just about to head to Jersey, so I'm just kind of like...
Okay, so they've gone, what, to Earth, and
Yes.
now Skeletor's going to be after them to get that silly-looking key.
Yes.
So, I must have missed it, but why are they going to Earth? What's on Earth?
I think she just said he's hit the keys randomly, so they're just going anywhere.
It just
we've
happens to be
landed
Earth.
in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
I mean, even then, you fucking fish out of water story. You're going to New York. You're not going to New Jersey.
You're going to Chicago or fucking LA. Like, you're going somewhere that has touchstones.
Yes, correct.
And no disrespect to New Jersey, I'm sure it's lovely. But
Especially this time of year.
I know. And, you know, I don't even think they go into central New Jersey, do they?
No.
I think they're more in, like, the outskirts of New
I
Jersey.
think where they go is just anywhere. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
For a
man,
laugh.
I was yucking
Now
it
he's a wet nutsack. Comes up out of the water.
up. Yeah. Why is this not Orko? That's exactly what Orko used to... You know, we're laughing at Orko coming up with some stupid plan and fucking it up. That's this guy to a T, including
As
the
I
stupid
said.
invention that you're playing your little musical notes on.
As I said, you could have made a Orko costume 10 times easier than you could have made this fucking disaster that you've just put on this guy's face.
And as you said, there's no face, so you don't have to risk putting something like this on screen.
Yeah. You just put a pink skivvy or a purple skivvy around his...
wrap it around someone's face.
Yeah.
Easy.
All you can
Easy
see
done.
is his eyes,
Yep.
purple hat. I don't get it. Although I understand they had money taken away, it was the 1980s, and if you telling me you couldn't put together a solid movie with $12 million, I don't believe that.
I guess the problem is the scope of it.
How much was Star Wars made for?
Good question. Can't actually remember. But, even Star Wars, yeah, it had some of those kind of sets, but like the scale of things like the castle and stuff. I mean, there's ways to work around it. They've worked around it with the matte painting and shit beforehand. But yeah, if you're going to do the whole thing on Eternia, that was a problem. But I guess you're right. Even then, they didn't do the whole thing on Eternia, which is why we ended up with this. I don't know. It's just a shambles, top to bottom, isn't it?
Well,
Other than Frank Langella, who loved it.
Oh, Frank Langella's the only bloke who's got 10 copies of the DVD.
I think Dolph still calls it the fucking low point of his career.
Does he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Dolph, you should reassess.
Yeah. We need to have a look at... Because I've seen a couple of them recently.
I'm going to go with Red Scorpion as a possible replacement for the worst thing you've been in. And then I'm probably going to double down on Skin Trade. Oh, yeah.
Skin Trade. I remember watching the one... I can't remember whether it was the one that he was hunting bloody zombies or something.
No,
like
didn't
that.
you say there was one that looked like it was shot in a fucking warehouse?
Yeah. It was a prison. It was supposed to be a prison, but it was clearly like a cheap sort of warehouse or something. There was no prison about it. So Dolph's used to, scripts that are aiming for things that their budget just can't hit.
What Dolph does, he's got selective amnesia, the big boy, because I think you'll find that Dolph doesn't consider those like the lowest point because they're just kind of like they're low budget pictures.
Yeah.
He's probably talking about the lowest point of his high powered career.
No, I think he's just talking in general. But no, you're right. I think this one had high hopes. It was another one of Dolph's on the way to being Sly and Arnie, and he never quite reached that, I guess.
And we've just been introduced to Courtney Cox.
Mm-hmm. Again, this is what I don't understand. You do this. I thought if you're going to come to Earth and do it this way, then surely you're including like a kid as like an avatar for all the little kids that who were going to watch the movie and we're going to play with He-Man, but they didn't go for that.
Yeah, so they went for like a teenager.
Mm.
I mean, Cox would have been what, 20?
Yeah, she looks it.
Yeah. And look, she looks very nice here. If she hadn't been changing her face so much, This was, and then Ace Ventura wasn't long after this, was it? Or was that in the early 90s?
That was early 90s. Wasn't that like 92, 93?
Was this post Dancing in the Dark?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's not the worst thing she's done.
How dare you? How dare you?
Or dance in front of a clearly fucking uncomfortable Bruce Springsteen on stage.
Bruce was loving it.
No, he wasn't.
He had the sway left to right going like he was...
Mate, that guy doesn't do those things.
Well, he did it.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have.
Yes, he should. Yes, he should.
So back to what Dolph was saying. There is no way this is the worst thing he's done. No way. I refuse.
No, but not the worst thing he's done. But for him, he was saying it was the low point of his career. Like he was just had a prick of a time doing it.
Did he? Because Frank Langella had a great time.
I know. You should.
We've got competing stories about how well this plays out.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm like. You should have been hanging out in Frank Langella's trailer, obviously, because he was having a fucking great time.
Right. I'll tell you why Frank had a great time. Let me put it to you. Frank had, although not a big star, would have probably been well respected. Like there was a reason we got Frank. We got Frank because he's a good actor and he's well known and he's done a lot of work.
Yes.
B, Frank knew what this was.
Well, Frank was at the point where he could do this and it wouldn't matter. He does
Frank
this,
was a character actor. He wasn't
does brain scan. No one cares.
I do, because brain scan's his lowest end. Now, if Frank wants to discuss the lowest point of his career, I'm very, very willing to talk to him about.
Happy to jump in on that.
Oh, definitely brain scan. So,
Gwildor.
Gwildor.
Gwildor's eating fried chicken.
Look at Gwildor. Honestly, this stuff is fucking ridiculous. So sorry, he stole a bucket of KFC.
Can I throw this at you? Is he too old to be Man-at-Arms?
Yeah. Man-at-Arms was He-Man's age, wasn't he? Or slightly older.
I think he was older, but
he had a tash.
This guy looks like he's ready to call it a day.
Yeah. This guy's like just about to punch in his 35th year working for the Eternia security company.
He's in the point where they're putting him on the gate.
Yeah.
You can be on the gate to Grayskull, check who's coming in and out, but when things hit the fan...
Yeah.
You're not. You're
Man-at-Arms doing passes and asses, mate. It's not.
Yeah.
He's definitely not punching it on with Skeletor and his crew.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Fuck, mate. Honestly, Gwildor is just...
You filthy already?
Well, yes. Because you know what? They're fucking catering to the lowest common denominator with that shit. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the fucking kids would do.
The kids didn't like it.
Didn't find this shit funny.
The kids were sitting there going, "Where's Orko? We like him. We don't like this guy." I mean, as soon as I saw that guy, they revealed his face, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, well, you know what? This is where you think Cannon are taking the piss.
yeah,
Don't you?
yes, correct. But at what point does Mattel step in and say this isn't going to work?
Yeah, well, what? Yeah, how much pull would Mattel have had?
Well, they had a lot of control over obviously what he could and couldn't do, and they wanted some input on costumes and shit like that. But I believe, I think it was like the year or two before this, Masters was on top of the world. They sold like 400 million worth of toys and shit.
Uh-huh.
But then she took a steep turn, and I think by the end of the picture, I have heard it said that they basically came back and said, just do something that'll fucking sell us some more toys, because things are cooling off.
Is that by the time they put in Ram Man and co?
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, Ram Man was one of the... he would qualify as one of the more interesting characters, one of the better characters, Adam. Once you start to get, real deep.
Stinkor.
I mean,
Faker.
Fisto would probably...
I did not name a toy Fisto.
Fisto and Jitsu and...
Honestly, somebody got fired that day. I can tell you now.
Well, my favourite, at the time, it didn't seem so strange, but now, there's a character when they brought back the new He-Man, the one where he went to space. There's a character...
Sorry. He-Man went to space.
Yeah, it wasn't a hit.
I wonder why.
One of Skeletor's henchmen in that one was a bloke with a whip, and his name was Flog. I think that's my favourite.
Imagine putting Fisto and Flog together. Honestly, we're getting into some dark territory there.
Yeah. Well, that was in... when Kevin Smith did that one, he snuck in. He said he wrote the line thinking it would be scrubbed. There's a line where Fisto screams out, "I'd sure like to fist him." Kevin Smith said, "Yeah, I was pretty sure they'd strike it, but they let me do it."
Oh my God. Sorry, we're way off track here. We're in New Jersey. We've just met Courtney Cox. She's got dead parents. Her boyfriend and her found that ridiculous key at the graveyard.
Yep.
And all the while, Gwildor is roaming the streets and acting like an idiot.
Yes. I believe this bloke's name is Kevin. And he thinks it's a bit of... he thinks it's a fucking synthesizer or something, doesn't he?
Well, he currently thinks it's a synthesizer?
Yeah, because the Cosmic Key makes notes.
But shit's coming out of it into the air. I mean, that's not a synthesizer last time I checked, Kevin.
Yeah, well, maybe now he's thinking of something different.
See, we desperately need to go back to Skeletor.
Yeah.
Desperately.
But unfortunately, that involves just, meeting the 4 mercenaries.
Oh, these guys?
Yeah.
I've selected your finest warriors. Oh, Christ, one of them's from Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Sarod.
Sarod looks like something from Star Wars.
Beastman.
Sorry, I forgot that was supposed to be sort of...
Karg. I don't believe Karg was a...
Karg looks like shit. Beastman.
Excuse me, that was uncalled for. My apologies.
So the Beastman is pretty much the only one that was in the cartoon from them too, wasn't he?
See, why wouldn't you put together 4 henchmen who were from the cartoon?
I have no idea.
I don't know, your name's David Odell. And you fucking recently wrote Supergirl, you dildo.
Well, you put... I can understand, right, we have something that you know, but we'll sneak 1 or 2 in there to make new toys of. Which I believe they did. I think they made a couple of these guys as toys.
No, but
what is
give
Karg?
me
I mean,
3
Karg looks like something you fucking vomited up. Like, it looks ridiculous.
And Semirod's got some kind of thing happening down around his throat. It's like looks like a snake type of breathing situation. Look, though, Jared, 3 of the henchmen should have been toys that we already knew.
Yeah, Flog,
one of them.
Actually, sorry, Flog didn't exist at this point. But...
Flog. Yeah, the Flog in this stuff was the director and writer.
Yeah, Flogs are accounted for.
Yeah, Flog was working behind the scenes. He wasn't on film.
But yeah, one of them's Trapjaw.
Well, one of them's Merman.
You basically made Trapjaw.
Well, Semirod is basically Merman.
Is it Semirod?
Oh, whatever his name is, Saurod. Fucking Saurod.
Well, what am I going to call him? Semirod.
That's Merman. Is it not?
Well, yeah. You bust out a couple of those characters and you're good.
Jesus Christ. Look at the
way
they arrive.
God, Beastman moves like Madman Mars. Woo! Hands up.
Yeah. Okay, so all these henchmen are turning up.
I think Blade did double duty. Isn't he the bloke who taught Dolph how to use a sword or something?
He might have.
I believe so.
And obviously, nobody was being killed in this show. Is that right?
What's that, sorry? Yeah. Yeah, you can't kill people.
So hang on. Okay, so they've got the key.
Yes.
Shit, I keep wondering why these guys are being targeted, but...
Yeah, they stole the key. Well, didn't steal it. They thought it was
They found it.
Synthesizer.
Yeah. Sorry, what was their boyfriend's name?
Kevin?
Kevin thought he was putting a band together when he picked up this weird key out of the gravesite and then thought it was a synthesizer. Jesus Christ. Look, everything about this is not working for me.
Okay, we've called it. Still a fair way to go yet.
I don't know what I'm going to be seeing for the next hour. But the other thing that's not working is that you're 100% correct. You've got all these characters that you could have used that you chose not to use. And yet Mattel were involved.
Yeah.
That's the bit that I don't understand. Don't you think they'd be spruiking the characters that they already had?
Yeah, you would think so.
Or make He-Man and Skeletor's, rivalry the key part. But
yeah.
He-Man seems... He-Man, I haven't seen He-Man for 10 minutes. He finally turned up.
Mm-hmm. Where's Pig Boy?
Pig Boy?
Yeah.
Is he another character that...
It was a kid that won a costume. So it's a little dude that fucking with a pig on his face that...
Oh, he's in the movie?
He's in the movie, yeah. I believe the kid said when he went home and his fucking face was burning.
Canon.
From pulling the mask off.
Canon knows how to do it correctly, don't they?
Of course.
Hire all the best effects people. Oh my god, this is just looking... I mean, the costumes are a debacle.
Yes.
And again, she doesn't actually have the thing. Now, Dolph's got a bit of an accent here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's part of the reason why he struggled a bit as well.
Yeah, possibly, but I think his English was more than fine at that point.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't. Just... he looks like He-Man, but he doesn't sound like He-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this would have all been better in Eternia, wouldn't it?
It would have made more sense, I know that much. As you said, clearly you are trying to find budgetary cuts.
Yeah.
It's funny looking at these movies back in the 80s and looking at and knowing the fact that Canon Pictures owned the rights to Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, did they not?
Yeah.
Superman.
Yep.
And Master of the Universe, and they did nothing with these properties. They screwed up every one of them. Every one of them was ruined. And it's funny to think if any of these sort of things would have, like, it's a totally different way of doing things than the way they do things now. You know, there's a big planning sort of thing. Unless you're DC, you just do it fly by the seat of your pants.
Well, at the time, Marvel would give it to anyone. Obviously, DC did too with Quest for Peace, but this wasn't too far before. Remember when Charlie Band was making a Doctor Strange movie?
Was he?
And then they lost the rights, but he'd already fucking written everything, and so that's what Dr. Mordred is. Jeffrey Combs.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, Karg. I just cannot understand what part of the design process someone said this one looks fucking cool.
But see, even that fight between Lundgren and that guy with the two swords, that should have been good stuff.
Yeah. Should have been. Not happy.
Should have been, but wasn't. Look, Goddard clearly isn't the right person for this stuff, but obviously when you're working for Canon, like this was one of Canon's problems. They, a bit like kind of New Line and what they were doing with Freddy, is they were giving their people within their group opportunities, right? And this movie probably stretched too far for that. You needed someone with some skill in the director's chair to know how to make this sort of work.
Did Dolph just say you're safe, do you understand? Was he saying that because of the thick accent? Or?
Yeah. Do you understand what I just said? I'm not saying do you understand that you're safe. I'm saying did you understand what I actually said? Oh, here we go. Charlie. Oh no, Charlie's the other way.
Kev.
Okay, so it'll be... So Kev's going to try and flog this, is he?
I don't know. I mean, the whole fucking plot is based around chasing this fucking thing.
Was there something else in the Masters of the Universe canon that we could have used as sort of like the MacGuffin that they got to chase around, and that?
Well, to me, it's the swords of power, right? Wasn't it in the cartoon that
if they got both halves of the sword, you could open the Castle Grayskull?
Correct. I mean, that's pretty straightforward.
So if you don't want to, if you want to use this whole shit about going to Earth, that you've got to chase down He-Man and get his sword.
Yeah. Yep, Skeletor's got one half, He-Man's got one half. You get them together, then you unlock the true power of the castle, the power of Grayskull. Like, it seems to me that that's what you go for, isn't it? I believe that's what they've done in other iterations. They've used things like that. So
that seems extremely simple.
Seems pretty fucking straightforward to me. But instead, we thought Gwildor and a Cosmic Key was the better option.
Again, we thought we were thought we were selling this to children.
Thought we were flogging it to children was what you were just about to say, weren't you?
Yeah. We thought we were flogging it to children.
Oh man.
We were flogging it to children, but as you said, by 87 things were falling out.
Yeah. But this is the sort of thing that reinvigorates it for a little while if it's done right, isn't it?
So, I still feel like if you'd have used the two sides of the sword, come together to open the key to Grayskull, and He-Man, it starts with Skeletor, Skeletor's setting a trap for He-Man. He-Man gets out of it. There's some gunplay and shoes or whatever. He opens a portal in time and goes back heads to Earth. Fucking time. What am I saying? He opens a portal which takes him to Earth. He's still got his sword with him. Skeletor sends his minions after him.
Yeah.
Get the sword back.
Yep.
Meanwhile, he runs into a young kid who's obsessed with Master of the Universe toys. It could have been meta, almost.
Yeah. But even if he's not, like, it could have been, a toy line that he kind of, like, or something, it just feels like that's what it should have been. If it's coming to Earth, isn't that what you're going for? You're trying to place the kids into the middle of their favourite fucking action figure storyline. Like,
that seems right. No.
Instead, we get fucking Principal Strickland.
And, buddy, you're
calling everyone a fucking
mouth
slacker.
and checks your buddy can't cash. He's going to start pulling that out.
Yep.
This was after Top Gun as well.
In Dolph's case, though, I'm pretty sure his body could cash.
No, his body could cash. His mouth wasn't getting it out.
Yeah.
It looks like they cut down on Dolph's dialogue too. Okay, so now Kev's telling the cops that Courtney Cox is missing. And they should find her. Of course, Courtney Cox is with He-Man and crew.
Yes.
Imagine, Jared.
You're looking for a fucking 4 foot thing that looks like a testicle.
Yeah. Imagine this.
Very hairy.
She comes to. Standing over is Dolph Lundgren, dressed in his crackers and a weird sort of bondage sort of kit.
Yeah.
A small person with a face like a busted ass. An old mustachioed guy and his offsider who both look like they just came from a laughing convention. I mean, you do think that these guys are laughers, don't you?
Yeah.
Like you're going, obviously I've accidentally walked into a fucking live action roleplay game. Got knocked out.
Correct.
And then they disappeared.
They're only a scouting party. Now let's find that key before they return in full force.
This way.
Dolph has got a mullet.
I can't put all the blame on Dolph.
No, I can't. I'm not going to. Look.
He's got nothing to do.
And to add insult to injury, Gwildor not only has a face like a squashed scrotum, but he's got a voice that's most annoying.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, your Jar Jar Binks comparison was very apt.
Very apt.
That one.
I mean, back in '87, though, this guy knocks this role out and he doesn't even think about it. In 1999, when they're making the Star Wars prequels, a return to the biggest, science fiction mythology ever, that bloke gets, he gets howled down. Plus, I believe it was the early social media days too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was copping heat left and right, that bloke.
For you to know, you must be destroyed.
See, as you point out, these two get to ham it up and carry on. And
they're not involved in all the frog shit on fucking New Jersey.
Exactly. They get
small
to stay
town
in
New Jersey.
Expensive set. It looks pretty good. Do all the work there.
See, Langella was loving life because he didn't go. He'd probably shot, 15 days or something?
Oh my god. I just can't look at that fucking Karg.
I've got no time for Beastman, really, either. He looks kind of ridiculous. He just looks like a guy who hasn't had a shave. He looks like a guy who hasn't had a shave. Right?
We fought.
That also looks like a scrotum. What's his name? Kirk.
That's Karg.
Karg.
Yeah.
And Beastman obviously doesn't talk, is that right?
No. Blade I can live with.
Yeah, Blade was...
You're not a fan of Sauron.
Sauron... Again, I feel like it should have been Merman.
Should have just been one of those. Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, they killed one of them.
Yeah. But you can do that, right? I think they said they didn't want anything that impacted any of the sort of core characters. So you do this with 3 of the recognisable characters. You add the one, maybe it's Blade, that is just the add-on.
And then you kill that
And
one.
then you kill that one. Surely.
Look, people weren't as...
Take them and whatever troops and resources you need.
I'll tell you one of the differences about this time. You make a movie now, you put this script out and it leaks, and they read about these 4 henchmen, and people say very loud and clear, what is this shit, on Twitter and everything.
Yeah.
And stuff gets changed.
Yeah, but see, now, right, now, the toy companies and the gaming companies and all that have heavy involvement. Like, they don't let anything happen to what they're doing, right? They make sure they do their absolute level best to get quality product.
Yeah, well, someone is, one of their people or whatever is
a
heavily
producer
involved
or...
producing it and making the calls.
But the fact of the matter is, you don't sell the rights to Canon. By 1987...
Obviously you did back in the...
But by 1987, you knew these guys were shysters. Well, they fucking were. Like
Did you?
You did, because by that stage, they'd done the over-the-tops. The over-the-tops. And the Supermans and that. Or was it Superman this year?
Superman was about the same time.
Oh, okay, sorry. But you knew that they were not purveyors of quality, Jared. Like, if anybody can see in 1987 that Canon Pictures does not have your best interest of the quality of this package is not going to be the first thing they're thinking about.
Yes, you're probably
So
right.
why would you sell it to them? It's a classic case of greed, you know. Canon comes a knocking looking for IP. Mattel says, oh, yeah, shit. We'll definitely give you this. Because they're going to pay us, X amount of money for it. And then they're going to produce this pile of pull. It's a synthesizer. Like
Good
you...
one.
Aren't you in a band, Kevin?
Oh, God.
Why does the key play music? Like, what's the... It feels
tell
like
me.
the key...
You tell me the answer to that.
Okay, I think I know what the answer is. Just so Kevin can think it's a synthesizer.
Exactly.
That's the only reason it plays fucking music. So
these coits are back on the job after fucking it up the first time. Classic Skeletor. So even Evil Lynn's costume looks a bit shit.
yeah. Oh. Is she seeing the past?
What? What's so funny about that?
Oh no, Jared, it fits right in line with what I'm currently watching.
Yeah, fits right in line with what we've currently been watching, none of which fits with the mythology that had sort of been put together on He-Man. Look, I get that it was messy to the point that you had a cartoon that, differed from things that were happening in the little comics that you used to get with the toys. But you look at some of it, don't you? You watch something.
Yes. You go to Mattel and you say, I want the specs of all the favourite characters you want, and we'll knock them out.
We'll work with it.
Yeah. Okay. What about that documentary about Masters of the Universe?
Toy Masters?
Yeah.
It's out. I think it's on. You can hire it. But
You can hire it.
yeah.
Did you watch
Took a while. No, I haven't watched it. I have watched the
Toys That Made Us episode.
Toys That Made Us, and I watched the one that was initially on Netflix, but now is on Tubi.
Yeah, I think I've seen the one on
Yeah.
that was on initially on Netflix.
I think it was about a 90-minute.
And again, it did say there was some bad blood there. But I
Yeah.
think the movies that made us kind of sort of said, well, the bad blood wasn't really that bad.
Mm.
Listen, I was gonna go put a note down at Charlie's music store, alright? You know what I'm gonna do?
I just don't get this. Why did they think that the core Masters of the Universe fan base was going to latch on to Strickland and Kevin talking about a fucking synthesizer?
I don't know, and I'll tell you what, Kevin's not an actor's ring. So we're not even sort of getting...
I think he worked. Didn't he go on all the Star Wars show? Star Trek show?
Sorry, I'll have a look what Kevin was up to while we work here, Jared. This stuff is just boring. Like, this fucking movie's at 106 minutes. There's absolutely no right to be 106 minutes, Jared. It should be 90 minutes at best.
I don't think it's got any right to be 90 minutes.
You've got to cater to children. That's who
Yeah.
you wanted through the door.
Exactly.
It's just a classic case of people who did not know what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Which is weird because Goddard seemed to work in that field.
Yeah, he worked in children's television, didn't he?
Yes. And did like theme park rides and stuff.
Okay. Did you say...
So he seemed to
Kevin, Robert Duncan McNeil. He plays Kevin. Yeah, he was in Star Trek Voyager for 168 episodes.
There you go. I have not watched a single episode. But
Yeah, but he hasn't
I was
worked,
aware
he
of
hasn't done anything since he did Chuck, an episode of Chuck in 2012, and then the next thing he did was Star Trek Lower Decks. A voice role for one episode.
All right.
Yeah, he worked very heavily in the Star Trek universe, although he's done a lot of directing.
Okay. Couldn't have stepped in and tried to help out with
Oh,
this.
sorry, no. His most recent directorial effort, the True Lies TV show. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
They said it's absolute fucking rubbish.
Yep. I kind of saw it listed and just decided I probably didn't want to see it.
But see, fuck, James Cameron should be, while he's going around on his press junket for Avatar, should have been going, these fucking assholes have put together a True Lies TV show and it sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Badmouth a bit of this stuff on the way round.
Yeah,
And
why
someone
not?
will go, look, if James Cameron said it's crap, it's probably crap. Let's not do it.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's how these things always work. If you give anyone...
Doesn't Cameron have the power to just stroll into the offices of whoever's trying to put it together and just say, no?
Yeah, no, I don't think
happening.
he owns it, does he? Because it was a French picture, a remake.
No, yeah, I know, he doesn't own it, and I think, from what I've read, the TV show is doing the same thing, saying it's based on that. But Cameron's still got the pull to just, stroll into someone's office and say, hey,
What are you doing?
I'll make your life difficult if this goes ahead.
Because this is bullshit.
Yep.
But
See, if we can afford to do that shit and put vehicles together like that, we can afford
see, you
to
know,
set it on
what's,
Eternia.
I'll tell you what else is missing. We don't have Man at Arms as vehicle. We don't have Battle Cat.
We don't have that big fucking set of bones that used to walk around.
Okay, here you go. Yeah, that was to put them in. That wasn't a fucking... That was just a carry case.
No, but it was, it was supposed to be that they were being carried to their next location.
I just
Yeah.
thought it was a fucking
Battle
carry
bones.
case he had. Battle bones.
It is a carry case, but it was also, so you could pretend they're being carried
From...
from one part of Eternia to another.
Right, okay.
But can't you just take that vehicle, shoot it exactly where you were before, do some matte paintings and shit? Voila, we've got Eternia.
You could have. I've got a question for you, though, Jared. Yeah, no, it's not really a question. What am I doing? it's a statement here.
Okay.
You couldn't have Battle Cat. Just have him on a horse. That's a minimum.
Stridor?
Stridor. Because Battle Cat, obviously, you can't ride a lion.
No, correct. I mean, on this budget, no, you cannot ride a lion.
Well, you know, based on Globus and Golem's previous form, they would have been talking to the director, saying, "Well, you just get him to ride a lion."
Yeah, well, I thought these, I thought these bozos would have done exactly what you were talking about. Just put him on a horse and they call it Battle Horse or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what you flex on, right? You say, no, okay, so a green lion that talks is probably out of our fucking budget. So we flex on that.
And what we look at, and we take everything and we look at it and we go, okay, what can we make exactly the same? And what can we not make? And how do we then...
And if the end of the meeting says, we can build one set, but other than that, we can't do Eternia. Oh, my God. Sorry, Gwildor again.
Who's in a silly hat and dressed like an asshole. Fuck.
If by the end of your meeting, you come to, we can build a set, one set, and everything else has got to be on Earth, then why doesn't someone say, we can't make this Masters of the Universe movie?
No, see,
as you said, greed. We'll make it, and all the posters will look like it's Eternia.
These guys all saw dollar signs, and then as the film went towards production, they finished production and went towards release, they realised we might have to turn it into coins. Like, we might have to think more about in the coin realm. We might make some coins. And then it turns out they made nothing. Like, nothing. But
you don't think it could be Russian? Come on, Strickland.
Oh, my God. Okay, it's not from here, so the fucking Russians came up with it. It's 1987. Yeah, Cold War's on.
Oh, dear.
And look, why... No, but Jared, see, I'm happy to pivot, though. If you say, look, we can't make all these sets you want, what we're going to do is have a story where He-Man lands on Earth.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a battle for the two swords.
Go back and watch Conan. A lot of that was in the fucking desert and, you know...
Admittedly, Mattel would not allow He-Man to go seek the lamentation of the women. He wasn't able to do any of that.
I wasn't necessarily talking about it in that regard. We're back to the fucking fist up and flog sort of territory.
Yeah, fist up and flog, and then He-Man singing the lamentation of the women. Things could have got out of control.
Yes.
Joe Esterhaz is brought in to punch it up.
Yeah, all of a sudden He-Man's a fucking sexy thriller, which is exactly what we're after.
Esterhaz is brought in to do a dialogue polish. Next thing you know, it's a fucking sex thriller.
It's not fucking... Something else has been polished. But you know what I mean? Like, you obviously... I feel like that was similar in some ways. They had a couple of big sets, but they didn't have... You know, they had parts where Conan's in the middle of nowhere pushing a fucking wheel around.
Yeah.
We can work with that, can't we? I mean, essentially, there was the rumour for years that the fucking... The toy line was... They made Conan toys and then saw Conan and thought, this is a little Joe Esterhouse for our tastes. And so pivoted and made He-Man. So why don't you just continue to rip off Conan?
You can tell me that... I could just imagine Esterhouse in Golem and Globus' office going, so I've got this scene where He-Man watches Teela undressed. They're going, yeah, alright.
Yeah. Evil Lynn comes to kind of capture He-Man, but then gets a glance of him in the crackers and thinks, oh, jeez.
Things get sexual. No, I'm with you. You do. Look around at other things. Like, why couldn't all that shit be shot in the desert? Like Eternia is like a desert planet, like fucking Mad Max. Like,
well, basically it is in a lot of parts, isn't it?
Well, it is. Like, what they showed us was the desert.
And I mean, you come across Merman, you go down to a fucking lake somewhere and you can shoot a bit of that. Like, surely there was ways around. I feel like this was kind of like
This is cutting corners. This is saying that we're not willing to put in the effort.
Yeah,
To try
saying we'll shoot it all as if they've come to Earth is essentially saying we don't give a fuck. We're just going to roll something out there and cash in on it.
But
Oh, Gwildor just... I forgot how bad he looked. The mouth barely opening and...
yeah, but Jared, this is one of the problems when you buy an IP, and then what you do is you go, we'll then write a script to tailor to the IP instead of sending some writers away and saying we want a Masters of the Universe script.
Yeah. See
Go
what you can
away,
come up with.
look at what the product is and its origins and mythology, and then build us a script out of that and come back. And then we'll look at that and we'll see what we can budget. Can we budget something like that?
Yeah.
But also, you need to strike while the iron's hot for these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And the iron had been turned off.
The iron had
tucked
been
away.
turned off and was cooling.
I think it had been tucked away.
Yeah. Why don't you go to Mattel and talk to the master writers there and say, give us a little bit, give us some ideas. They come back at you and they say, you know, what about He-Man, Ram-Man, Man-at-Arms, Merman?
They're all like too many men. We need to have some ladies in here, and then we also need to have a small creature that shits everyone off. How about you bring this in?
Yep.
You need a woman's touch out here.
What about a writer's touch?
A woman at arms.
Give me, come on, give me the gun. Don't you get it, Lubick, huh? All right, this is for real. She meant what she said. She said, give me the gun. No!
I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Neither do I, but now these guys are both armed.
Don't stop.
Courtney Cox and Kevin are armed.
When this is over, you're going to
Yep.
jail. Accessory to assault, resisting arrest, endangering lives. I guarantee you, you and all your buddies, I'm going to put you away for 850 years. What are you looking at, Shorty?
Why not bring Lubick into it more? Because he's, the cop who's chasing them around.
Mm.
And what's going on here? Is she seeing her mum?
Yeah,
What the fuck is this? We are wasting precious minutes on this crap. Like,
I'm assuming that's Evil Lynn.
yeah.
But as you said, bullshit.
God. Well, again, it seems to be just excess stuff. Feels a little bit like padding. And again, this movie didn't need to be padded.
It's junk, Adam.
It's sci-fi junk. It's a space term.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it's definitely Evil Lynn, isn't it?
It's gotta be.
Look, your parents died.
Yeah.
Why do I always fall for this sort of crap?
I'd like to know.
Okay, so there's a guy running around in his cracker.
tell you, but I don't know.
But this is the other thing too. So okay, there's a guy running around in his crackers, and there's a weird-looking machine that keeps getting pressed by a small man.
And then your dead mother
small-
tells you, I want the thing with the funny lights that
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
the sounds.
Yeah, hang on.
Nothing's-
Hang on, I think something's not right here. Well, your mum's dead, mate. Like,
Yeah. Oh, God, it had to be him.
you're acting like Totcombs? Is that what he said?
Yeah, something along those lines.
They're alive. What's the matter with you? What were you?
Your parents are not alive.
Julie, I hate to tell you, but they are not alive.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not hard to see why the children that love Masters of the Universe struggle to connect with this movie.
I mean, I like the idea of that, but it doesn't work. Like, normal people realise that they're... And they haven't really properly explained how desperate she would be to see her parents again.
I believe they just mentioned... I believe that the mother just mentioned that it was a plane crash, Adam. So, that would be very unlikely, wouldn't it?
Look, I don't know a lot about resurrection, Jared. But I'm going to believe it's not possible. Like,
I'm going to go ahead and say I'll back you up on that one.
Yeah. I don't expect to see anyone I know who's died reappear anytime soon. And if they ask me for cash or some sort of key, I'm going to assume...
Look, I'll give you $10. That's the best I can do.
I'm going, even in death, you can't fucking... you can't pay for anything.
What if they ask you for iTunes cards?
Oh, well, that sounds legitimate. And if it happens to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, of course I hand it over without question.
Without question.
Now, you also... So there's too many characters, Jared.
Yeah.
You know, we're heading towards the finale somewhat. And we've got how many characters? There's about 10. There's Lubick, there's Kevin, there's Courtney Cox, there's He-Man, there's...
I'm sorry, I got one giggle there.
What?
I got one giggle.
Is it because he...
Lubick in the middle of explosion going, holy shit.
But, well, I haven't seen
back up.
He-Man. I haven't seen He-Man for 15 minutes again.
No, and He-Man's not kicking any tail. I'm not happy with that. I mean, at least if Joe Esterhouse was involved, he'd been chasing some tail. But,
He-Man's been reinvigorated as a some sort of sex maniac. His name's Mr. H-Man.
I mean, we talk about how this one's off base. The fucking supposed second one they had He-Man still on Earth, masquerading as a fucking star quarterback. And I think Skeletor was masquerading as a fucking evil businessman.
Yeah, but there's room to include Joe Essays in this one. There's no room to include him here.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that sounds perfect. You can include some smut in that sort of storyline.
Yeah.
A love triangle of some sort.
See, this... You can do this, right? Right? But you can't put Man-at-Arms' shit together.
Correct. You can put Skeletor on what looks like one of those fucking boats that people ride around the swamps in.
The Everglades. He's recently come from the Everglades.
Skeletor's just caught some gators.
Yeah, he's driving a fan boat through the Everglades for a while. They thought he'd pop over to New Jersey and see what was going on. Fucking hell. But you know what? That looks like a decent piece of kit.
Exactly. So, I feel like even though the budget clearly was an issue, you could have still done this. You could have still done Eternia. But as you said, nobody wanted to. Nobody wanted to fucking do anything other
Tell you what, mate.
cash in on a quick
If
few
you roll out to the Namibian desert, you get
in your van boat.
Morocco or somewhere like that, you get this job done. You do it
Exactly. Yep.
You use matte paintings in the background for bigger Castle Grayskull, which is the thing that they're all trying to get to. No one can get into Castle Grayskull at the moment; it's locked tight.
Yep.
And then you pull the whole, put the two swords together as the plot device.
Yeah, Grayskull's locked up tighter than Skeletor's fucking pants.
It's tighter than Fisto's butthole.
Oh, shit.
But you can get that done. See, this stuff is. I'm just the fact that we've basically just put He-Man to the side. Like I reckon if I timed how much screen time he has, I reckon it'd only be like 40-something minutes.
Yeah, probably even less, to be honest. I mean, Gwildor's had far more than he should have.
Yeah, Gwildor's had a lot. Then you've got Skeletor and his stuff going on.
Then you've got Kevin cracking out the guitar and...
Yeah. Hang on.
Budget issues?
Yeah, budgetary issues there. And look at fucking poor old Dolph.
But you can use a bit of fucking... I mean, you go back to things like... Not go back, you go forward to stuff like, Wes Craven doing that scene in New Nightmare with all the trucks by using a fucking screen and having people standing in front of the screen and stuff. Like,
yeah.
You can work around some of this stuff. Some trickery. Oh, God.
Oh, he grabbed the
He-Man's using a fishing line.
He grabbed the key back.
He did. He must not use that key. Well, he's got it and he's fucking floated away now, so you're really grasping at straws there, right?
So is that a real machine?
What do you mean?
No, that's not, no. That's just, it's been sort of planted into the shot.
Yeah, I think so.
This flying surfboard's bullshit. It doesn't work. Well, it does if you shoot in the right way, but...
Yeah. Just don't show too much of, the effects. Don't show too much of that.
Is he now upside down?
He's upside down, yeah.
Oh, God.
But again, for the time, some of that looks...
Okay.
Looks
acceptable.
Good enough. Yeah.
And look...
Where is everyone?
Some of this is acceptable.
Where is everyone in New Jersey at this time?
Well, see, this is the thing. It's not even middle... As I said before, it's not city New Jersey. It's like in small town New Jersey. So it's so cheap that...
That's what I said. It could be anywhere.
It feels so cheap. It's like you're not even going to the big city. So you're not even going to the Big Apple, or you're not going to LA, or you're not going anywhere where there'd be touchstone places that we could see.
Yeah,
and it'd be awesome to see He-Man there.
Yep.
You're not even doing that.
Nope. Again, that looks fine.
Yeah. And as I said, I like this whole machine they've got for Skeletor. This ship that he's got, and it actually looks like it's been properly made.
And looks like something that you would have purchased and fucking put Skeletor on. Those little vehicles that they used to make.
I would have purchased that bone thing.
You would have purchased Battle Bones and then not used it in any games. You would have only packed them in it and said, "This is just for carrying."
I would have said it's just a carry case, mate.
Just a carry case.
We're not doing anything more than that with it.
No.
See, again, I just come back to the fact that He-Man's got limited screen time because there's so many competing characters here. There's so many different characters who have their own little storylines, and they don't seem to be really greatly connected. Well, they are, but they're connected via this pretty lame sort of tissue.
Yes.
And so we've got Skeletor with his sort of stuff going on. We've got the 4 henchmen. We've got Evil Lynn and her stuff. Then
3 henchmen now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My mum died.
Sauron was lasered
the action
to death.
scenes do not
Sauron
crackle.
was sentenced to death by Snoo Snoo in Joe Esterhouse's
yeah. None of the action scenes really crackle with any energy.
No. Well, as you said, a ripping sword fight with Blade and Lundgren would have been just fine in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, he stacked it. Is this where He-Man starts to get flogged?
No.
With a laser whip of some sort? No, that's when they go back to Castle Grayskull, isn't it? Why am I asking you? You haven't seen it, is it?
No. And this is what you needed more of. Lundgren cutting a sword.
Yeah. I mean, it's part sword and sorcery, fellas. Get the fucking swords out.
And you bring in Esterhouse and sword and sex. It's like a sword and sandal epic thing.
Yeah.
Like a
It's S&S. It's smart and sex. Yeah, He-Man uses the laser a little too much.
Yeah, shoot out.
The sword is basically his thing, right?
The only problem, my biggest problem with Skeletor's costume is his nose.
Yeah, his nose looks like shit.
What they should
You can
have
almost see the little bits of cloth.
yeah, they should have built it up so it was hooked or something, so you couldn't see those bits.
Yeah, because generally outside of that, they've done a reasonable job of trying to
surrender your sword. If we were getting to this point in the show and Skeletor's asking him to give him his sword, that means, you know, you can put the two swords together and you're off.
Yep. Yeah. I never got the cosmic key business.
And again, there's no explanation for any of it.
No, it's just something to get him from one place to the next.
Unless I missed that.
But I mean, you got fucking sorcerers and Skeletor and magic and shit. You can pull that off without a cosmic key.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we travel. We travel via these portals. I mean,
Yeah. Something like that.
when we feel like it.
Let me look at her. What's wrong?
Skeletor's particular gift.
Willer, we need to get back to Tony.
Okay, so what is wrong with her? Is she unconscious?
She got hit with a laser of some sort. Or Skeletor's magic or something.
Right.
From the key's memory.
The tones are erased from the key's memory.
Again, somebody should have looked at that guy's face. Like, when they came with a design, it should have been, no.
Should have been, look, I love your work. You've always been great for the company, but we're not using
Yeah,
this.
we're going somewhere else. We're going to go talk to Stan Winston.
We're going another direction. Can you show me what the other testicle would look like? It was flattened and somewhat scorched. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah.
And then we've got this guy. Like,
Yeah.
we've then got, what's his name? Lubick. Got Lubick the cop running around as well. So what? How can anybody, like, you're talking about selling this to like 10 to what? 8 to 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's your audience, right?
That's your audience.
So what self-respecting 8 to 12-year-old would understand all this? Oh God, that's actually quite nasty. She's got quite the wound on her leg from Skeletor.
But yes, back to what you were saying. That's the whole problem here, right? Like, what 8 to 12-year-old is going to watch this and go, "Gee, that's cool. I really enjoy that."
I mean, I was right in the pocket. I was like 11
Yeah.
when this was made.
Yep.
So you'd think that a guy like me is who you're aiming it at.
You got more sense than that?
I got a lot more sense than that, because I didn't go to the cinema for this bullshit.
No, neither did I. And we were right in the thick of it. You had more He-Man figures than you could fucking fit in a battle
I needed 4 battle bases just to get the fuckers around. I also had Snake Mountain,
Yeah.
which came with a
The little voice.
thing. Voice modulator
Mm.
thing that was like a microphone.
Yes.
Snake Mountain, loved it.
Yeah, you had.
I had
what was
quite a
my
bit.
favourite that you had? the guy that was it Modulock that you would fucking pull apart and then piece together?
Yeah, dig it.
Red spider-looking thing with two heads.
Yes, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
liked Modulock.
No, I even had some of those ones where they had like a... excuse me. It was He-Man and Skeletor, but they had these
The battle
rotating
damage?
things. Yeah, and you'd hit them with a sword and they'd get one cut, and then you'd hit them again, they get two cuts.
Can't remember what they were called.
But they were
Was
cool.
it fucking Thunder Punch He-Man or fucking...
Thunder Punch He-Man had a
One of
massive
those ones.
fist.
Terraclaw Skeletor?
Pterosaur Skeletor?
There was a Pterosaur
had like
Skeletor.
Freddy Krueger sort of...
Yeah, yeah. And a little fucking dragon that you could fill up with water and squirt water or something.
Okay. Stinkor
Stinkor.
smelled like shit.
Patchouli oil. Or something like
Oh, that what it was?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
put that in the toy.
And then I had Faker,
Faker.
which
yeah.
was
I did a
He-Man's...
Faker.
Which was Skeletor's version of He-Man. He was just blue.
I had the one, my favourite was one of the later ones again with the little chest thing. I think it was, can't remember its name, but it was like an insect head and you would press the little thing on the back and it would drip blood down the
That was cool.
in the chest
Yeah.
like it was fucking sucking the blood out. It's probably called Insector or something.
Yeah, probably.
I can't
Well,
remember.
they were
what it's
either
called.
Oars or Mans.
Yes.
So...
I mean, that's how good this movie is. It's more interesting to talk about the He-Man toys that we had at the time.
Well, the
I didn't
He-Man...
have Gwildor. Surprise, surprise.
The He-Man toys that were not in this movie.
Yes, correct. Again, he's just too old to be Man at
Man at Arms, I mean... You look like you should be collecting, like... pension checks.
Arms. Yeah, I need to believe that you can roll out, you know, run into Beastman and Trapjaw
Kick his ring.
and hold your own, mate.
I need to believe that... It's clear that Man at Arms is running your army.
Correct.
Like, he's the guy, he's the general
Yep.
of your army. But
Yes.
he doesn't look like that, and none of it... Again, he's not wearing a costume either.
No.
Like, he doesn't really have much of a costume on, and there's no colourings. Do you notice that?
Yeah, because his
Apart-
was green and the Eternian Guard was like the green.
And he had
orange.
orange pants.
Yeah.
And then the brown boots.
Mm.
So, why is there no colour in this film? Everything's black, or...
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, even He-Man, he doesn't even have the little red triangles on his...
No. I think that would have worked a bit better. And it fits. Like, look at Castle Grayskull. There's a bit of colour there. And that's the best thing in the fucking movie.
But also, do you notice that... Oh, what's happened to the sorceress? Is that the sorceress?
Yeah.
Good lord, she looks like shit now.
Looks like Khan for a second.
Oh, the sorceress looks like... She's had a couple of rough nights.
Yeah, look, at this stage it's a pretty well-worn head that she's looking...
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
God on her.
See, I think that Langella understood that this was kind of... He could throw some ham in. There
Yeah,
was
of
no
course.
issues with him doing
You
that.
throw as much as you can.
Yeah. See, I would have built his nose up forward a little bit.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
could just
so
hide that shit
looks
a little bit.
darker.
Yeah. So that's He-Man sword?
Yes, correct.
So
Which seems to be...
the sword of
An
Grayskull
item of-
suddenly becomes important now?
Correct.
Shit.
Are you just ruining...
Oh,
I mean, you've still got 6 days of Dolph Lundgren week.
I know. Fucking hell. Again, I will tell Dolph straight to him, this is not the worst thing you've done.
No, probably not.
And look, Dolph's in great shape. He's in
He is,
ripping Nick.
Ripping Nick, absolutely. That's the definition of ripping Nick right there.
That's right.
Was Dolph natural?
He
Or
was,
was he getting injected like Rocky IV? Machine jabbing things into his clacker.
was his training regime essentially Drago's?
Yeah. I think it might have been.
Where he was getting jabbed in the arm, that he was punching things as hard as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Because Dolph is big, but you look at him and you could believe that, okay, well, I don't know, can you? Was he on the roids?
Oh, look, there'd be a little
Look,
bit of roids in there.
He's been hanging around Sylvester for a long time.
Oh.
So he's probably on something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have broached that topic.
I think if Sylvester could inject roids into his brain, he would.
Yeah.
So, I suggest, yes, there's probably a little bit of roids.
Here we go, flog.
Oh my god, this
Again,
is the lowest.
Those effects look like shit, but if that's what you want to throw out, if this whole thing's on Eternia, I'll go with you. Just don't go to New Jersey.
I was in Korea. I never saw anything like this.
But you said it earlier on, you need fish out of water.
If that's what you're going
Yes. But you also needed, Jared, to pull in the Prince Adam situation too. The He-Man has an alter ego.
Well, that's how you cut down a bunch of characters, isn't it? You introduce a bit of that, and you've got this angle of, that Skeletor doesn't know that that's what's going on. Like, there's avenues.
manner of
where
avenues to go
you
here.
Didn't need any of this stuff.
Honestly, I prefer the sequel setup that they were going with. I think that sounds...
Star quarterback versus... I can't even remember what his name was, but his last name was Dark. So Skeletor is a master of disguising who he is and what his intentions are.
Oh, hang on, are they playing the fiddle here or whatever it is?
Playing the fiddle. Again, this isn't the Esther House version.
I know. A talented fiddle player gets seduced by the dark side of the musical fraternity.
God.
And Joe Esterhazy's Thriller. I know this is we're talking about Master of the Universe, but Esterhazy, his resume is just chock full of shit that just, I don't know how he became so popular. They were paying him an absolute mozza for some of the crap he was ripping up. And even Basic Instinct is crap.
Yeah.
Like, Basic Instinct's not even that good when you look at it.
No, not really.
It has, better actors and a good director and things like that. But I don't even believe it's that much of a thriller. See, Langella actually does have, Skeletor actually has some arc. And there's some interesting angles with what he's sort of going for.
They did their best to shit all over that and not actually allow any of it
Well, that's right.
to come forward.
Didn't they cut some of it out? Didn't he say that? There were other things that they'd done, but that was all cut out.
Yeah. Well,
Why do we keep going back to the coppers? Like, why? Gwildor and Co. should have left town and headed to Eternia.
again, we didn't need any of this. We didn't need coppers in the first place.
Here we go, we're back in the deserts again, Jared.
But look, desert, matte painting, okay, that's Eternia.
Acceptable.
Fine for me.
And when it's not night, it's just the desert.
Correct.
You don't need much map painting then.
No. Desert, couple of cheap sets, something to work with there.
So
See, this is all the same, right? If we're going for the swords.
Yes. All of this is the same.
The Cosmic Key is just...
If you just replace the Cosmic Key with that bit, then that's where you're going.
That's what I think.
So is he actually Master of the Universe? What does that mean for him, though?
It means he gets a nice golden plated makeover, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Which, again, is pretty standard shit for Masters of the Universe. Skeletor gets the power, turns into fucking Skelly God, or whatever you want to call him.
Skelly God. Look at that.
Look at what?
I would accept this type of special effects, though.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
were okay in 87.
Of course. I mean, that stuff is fine for me.
So he becomes Master of the Universe. Does that mean he can beat... How does He-Man defeat him?
Oh, we'll see.
He beats it out of him, doesn't he?
I can't remember.
No, sure they had a
whips him
sword
with
fight or something.
Whips him with a cosmic red fucking whip. I would just say he leaves him alone in a theatre with Gwildor for 90 minutes and
then
Skeletor begs for mercy.
that guy's got a hook hand. Even on Eternia, you can still get a hook hand. Like, they can't even replace your hand with like a metal hand. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I would have thought with what we can pull on Eternia.
Oh.
Now that looks a bit silly, but I would have thought what we can pull on Eternia that you could make some sort of improvement to the hook.
Yeah, exactly. So hang on.
I still don't understand the hook. Just so you can eat your dinner.
So is this general like hook-handed people?
General, yeah. I'm not sure what the hook is.
Well,
I
don't
like
those
the hook.
hooks sort of they separate like
Well,
that?
nowadays they do.
Do they?
I don't know whether they
Well,
always
they
do.
actually hands now.
Yeah, you can get actual,
Well,
Why are we talking about prosthetics?
Well, I'm asking why, if you're on an Eternia, which is a planet where they do all sorts of fancy stuff, and one guy's
You
just
can't
become a
just have a
god,
magic
you can't get anything more than a hook hand if you're the if you're one of the henchmen.
Yeah, I just don't get that. But you can't wipe your ass with a hook.
And imagine if you've lost a hand that's your main wiping hand. You've got to change hands. Like learning how to wipe your ass with the other hand would be harder than writing.
Yeah, I think so. More important. If my letters look a little messy, that's alright, as long as I don't have a dirty ass. Talk to me.
It's definitely more important. No doubt about it. I mean, this is a side note, but someone was mentioning the other day, asking the question, do you wipe front to back or back to front? And I was just thinking to myself, who wipes fucking back to front?
My stance is I don't really care as long as it's clean.
Who wipes back to front? I mean, you are basically transferring.
Are we talking like a gridiron snapper?
Yeah, but fuck. I don't know how you would actually do it. But honestly, you are playing with fire. You are dusting your own nutsack in fecal matter. Like you are. Come on.
Yeah. Probably not where you want to be in life, really.
No. And look, why are we having this conversation?
I don't know.
This movie has pushed me to that fucking level.
From the lack of practical use of a hook hand.
I know. Now, obviously, we're into the finale here. We're punching it on, shooting it out with everyone. We're on Eternia now. We're in Greyskull.
Yeah, we're back to, again, the place where everything has to happen because...
Okay, first thing I do, if I'm directing this picture, right? I immediately hire a top-notch fight choreographer.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know I've got Lundgren. He's a good athlete. Yes?
Yep.
Not an actor's ass. Good athlete, though. So I know that I'm going to be able to use this guy.
Yep.
So I hire a top-notch fight choreographer.
I mean, Skeletor looks a little bit like Liberace at the moment.
When you become a god, you look like Liberace.
Oh, God.
Holy shit. But I use Lundgren's physicality to my advantage.
Yeah.
And I start the film with a blue where He-Man kicks the shit out of like 10 blokes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what else is missing, Jared. He-Man drawing his sword and saying, I have the power!
Correct.
Where's that shit?
Grab it. Come on, He-Man. Jeez.
You know what, though? It looks like Lundgren gets himself involved in these properties where he knows fucking nothing.
There you go.
Oh, so finally get that.
We got to it eventually. What does that give him? His costume back? No, nothing.
Oh my god.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie. Is this the bit where they came back and filmed it?
Yeah, I think so. I think they come back to do this part. This is where we start getting the big fucking bright lights behind them, so we can't see that there's actually not a set there anymore.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, there's a bit of a set.
There isn't.
No.
We're clearly in a warehouse. See, I would have had a really good fight choreographer and had this as like a kick-ass end.
But maybe they did that. Because remember they had, well, the story goes that they were in the middle of a shot when they got fucking...
Yeah, true.
We're done.
So maybe they did try and do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I use He-Man's physicality to my advantage, or Lundgren's physicality. Then what I also do is I have the Prince Adam, He-Man, split personality,
Yeah.
and play off that, you know.
Are you going the whole fucking royal family? We have King Randor and co.
We've got Fisto,
Fisto.
we've got Flog, and we've got King Randy.
King Randy.
Yeah, I go with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, any of that sort of stuff is superior to we go to Earth in this scenario for me. I just find it fucking baffling that that's what they went for. I mean, this must be tough for you.
Why?
Number one, you're not a sword and sorcery man.
No.
Number two, it's a shit movie on top of being sword and sorcery.
Fuck, it's like when someone tries to take me into, you know, the sword and sandal epics as well. You know, I'm just like, oh fuck, I've got to sit through this bullshit. Like, you know, Gladiator's probably the only one I've sat there and gone, that was alright.
Mm.
What am I going to go back there for? Look what I got here. I got a castle. I got a view. I got clean air. I got a beautiful woman.
Is this from the Joe Esther house?
That's from the Joe Esterhaz cut. He's going to go home, go into the next room and get laid. No doubt. Do you know that...
Lubick getting it on.
The bit... I'll tell you where Dolph's performance is struggling. Every time we show him doing anything physical and fighting it out and stuff, and lifting anything heavy or whatever, he's always got this look on his face like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like he looks, I don't know, constipated or something.
We're supposed to believe that these people have now...
It's an old Eternian saying when you would know, old man Ripper.
Yeah. I was there when we created that saying.
Sorry, this was post Dancing in the Dark?
Yeah.
Post Dancing in the Dark.
Post.
You look after him now.
I will.
Activate the doorway, Glazor.
Activate the doorway.
You don't want to go back to the planet's history? I can take you back in time to the past or future.
No, look, Wilbur, that's okay. Just send us home.
We better get home.
He's taking us back in time. Gwildor just coming out on top of everything.
All right, Jared, I want it right now. Out of 5.
Out of 5?
Out of 5. The movie hasn't finished. I want to get because I want to wrap this up quickly.
You don't want to see the post credits?
No, I don't. Is there a post? Oh, that's right. Doesn't Skeletor's head pop out of the water?
Skeletor's head pops up and says, "I'll be back," or something like that. No, you
Clearly you won't.
I mean, far out. It's hard to push past like a 1.5.
1.5?
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 1. To me, it didn't make it didn't make much sense.
I got more sense than that.
I thought I had more sense than that. I should have left this.
Yeah, this is completely your fault. I gave you a couple of outs, and you didn't take any of them.
No, but what was the outs you gave me?
I just said, you know,
What
are
are
you sure
you
you're
wearing?
ready?
You look like a fucking spinster.
Is that an old Eternian?
That's an old Eternian saying. For ugly.
Yeah, it's an old Eternian saying for you. You look like shit.
Oh, Mum and Dad are alive.
Are you sure it's not Evil Lynn again? She should have walked in and said, fool me once.
And then it changes to Evil Lynn and then goes, give me all your iTunes cards right now.
I require $2,000. All in iTunes cards. Do not tell anyone that this is how we are completing this transaction.
I'm purchasing a house and I require $1,000 in iTunes vouchers. Thank you very much. This is totally above board. No, okay, you're 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. That's what I'm going with.
Look, I'm going 1.5 because I do think there was points of it where some of the look of a handful of the characters and the vehicles and stuff was alright. Langella, good.
Langella's good, yeah.
Man at Arms, not so good. Man at Arms, God. The man can't lift the arms anymore, I don't think.
He's lost so much muscle mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, okay.
But 1 is fair enough.
It's fair enough.
1's fair enough. I'm not going to argue you there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to haggle.
No, I'm not going to.
I mean, it's not a situation. I haven't been left in absolute disbelief, a la Maddie and Snake Eyes. Like it's.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. No. Imagine if someone came up with Snake Eyes for this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Our sorceress was Christina Pickles.
Yes.
Who you, when you were watching that video, Richard Susponder was Pig Boy.
Yeah, Pig Boy. He's the one whose face was sore after it.
Well, Richard's now blind. He is because the fucking effects people left the makeup on for too long.
Yeah, I believe they when they pulled the mask off, the glue was very strong and fucking. That's why his face was hurting because some of the skin came.
That sort of shit happened back then, didn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Special designs by Jean Mobius Girard.
Yeah, some of the designs I had some issues with.
Yeah. So perhaps Jane wasn't the right guy for that. No, look, one star, mostly for Frank Langella.
Yeah.
Anything involving Langella and the stuff involving Skeletor, I think actually kind of worked a bit. The Skeletor stuff was okay.
Yep.
It's when we got away from that, and unfortunately, He-Man is not the only, not really the big issue because they don't give him a lot of time. So you can't even say, well, Lundgren's part of the problem because you only give him half the screen time. So what's the point of it?
Yep. Yeah, that's more than fair.
What I would like to know, though, Jared, is this. Who told Golan and Globus that a small sort of creature was going to be was important? You know, which was something they needed to kind of sell it to people. Because that's the bit I don't understand.
Well, this is the thing.
There were not films. We weren't making films back in '87 where kids were like the big draw.
But by doing that, they seem to have an understanding of where they're aiming this, right? But so, if that's the case, I don't understand how we got to the whole situation in New Jersey with a couple of people. Are they even teenagers? They seem to be aging into adulthood.
Well, that was it. That was the gist I got. She was working in a fast food restaurant. He allegedly was in a band. I mean, were they, at the very least, they were 17 or so 18.
Yes. So, it's just strange that they know this is a product for kids. We stick in Gwildor. I don't know how Gwildor came about.
He had
Maybe Mattel
for
decided
Mr.
on
Lundgren, he had a speech coach.
and a drama coach, allegedly. Sorry, Dolph. I shouldn't be saying that sort of shit.
He had a speech coach and a drama coach, and not one of them could coach anything out of it by the look of it.
Oh, man.
God. Yeah, no.
That's where the coach is sitting on the sideline with their arms up going, fuck.
I don't know.
Look,
boxing one.
Look, I drew up the play. You know, I drew someone setting the screen here and run it, and you guys just fucking threw the ball in and fucked it all up.
Yeah, fucked it up. Based on the toyline developed by and copyrights and trademarks owned by Mattel, Inc. Is this where, is it after the credits?
Yeah.
Who was hanging around to after the credits back in 1987? No one.
No one. At that time.
No one.
But,
So what was the point of this?
I don't know. You know, put the sequel out there, which obviously... and it looks terrible without the hood on. Oh, dear.
Good lord.
Okay, so one.
So one star, 1.5 for you.
So what's next on Dolph Week for you?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go through some of his work.
You need a recovery period of some
I need
sort.
something that he's done that's reasonable.
Mm.
As I said, I like it. I Come in Peace. Or Dark Angel, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but you got to branch out. You got to add some new ones to the...
More recent,
to the
perhaps.
mix.
Have I got to go to more recent with Dolph?
Just find something, you know, there's got to be something mixed in that you haven't already seen.
Okay, well, what about something like from his 90s catalogue?
Yeah.
That's more the stuff that I wouldn't have seen. Pentathlon.
I mean, the 2000s is your real sort of, real Dolph fan dig deep. What about Command Performance?
Oh, I wish I could find it. I can't. I looked it up.
Better sniff around. Better sniff around.
I'll look on the YouTube and see if it's available through there. Pentathlon.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by one Bruce Mudmouth, who also directed Hard to Kill, who Seagal said he had no time for him at all. So maybe that's the one.
Right.
That's the one you go for. Dolph Week will be short.
Dolph Week's it's only a working week. It's not,
it does not include a weekend.
It might even be a 4-day work week.
Yeah, what?
I've had some flex time stacked up.
It's kind of like a couple of days before Easter and a day after Easter.
Yeah. There's a public holiday.
It's definitely a public holiday in there. You know what it is? It's the weekend of the public holiday Tuesday coming up, Anzac Day Tuesday. So it means it's one day.
Yeah, so I took the Monday off to stretch that weekend out, and then I got 3 days of work to put in. Already done one of them.
And
only 2
with
to go.
Dolph, it's kind of like the work you put in when you're on a 3-day week, which isn't much.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you need a little bit of time to readjust.
You haven't got time to, mate. You haven't got time to sort of build into anything.
No.
Because you got to have a weekend. So fuck.
I mean, it's a you know, it's an 8 o'clock to 12 kind of warm up period on day one. And it's lunchtime.
Yeah, look, if I get anything done in that period, I'd be surprised. Like, yeah, I'm going to go for coffee.
Well, I haven't sat down for this long for a while. I'm going to get up and go for a walk, stretch the legs. Walk past someone's cubicle. Hey, how was your weekend? Half an hour later.
Go to the next cubicle over.
I didn't see you there.
Wait people out.
Yeah,
like if they're not at their desk, they just hover around like an arsehole for like yeah, so you're right. That first day's a write off, really. So day 2 I watched Masters of the Universe.
That's it.
Day 3. You're already down, it's Friday.
Day 3. Oh look, the project's been cancelled. We're on to the next.
Yeah. So Dolph week is over like that.
Gone.
All right, that is Masters of the Universe. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for what we're going to cover next. Something hopefully infinitely better than that.
Yeah, let's hope.
But until
It
then,
doesn't involve small creatures.
take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.